Good evening, yogi. Welcome to this super mellow restorative class. Today you're going to need quite a few props, so I encourage you to first collect all of these things before we begin class. You will need 2 pillows, 2 blocks, a bolster, and a blanket. So as you go around collecting those things to get ready for class, I also encourage you to maybe light a couple of candles, some incense, perhaps put on some evening chill music. We have our recommended Spotify playlist in the description below, and you can also dim down the lights. So get super cozy. This is going to be a very relaxing, very mellow, very chill class. Take a couple of minutes to set up your space, grab your props, and then we'll meet back on the mat. And we're going to begin with legs up the wall on our back. You could either place your mat up against the wall, or I'm going to keep my mat here, but I'm just going to lay a blanket down against the wall. So the best way to get into legs up the wall is to first make sure that your hips are going to be comfortable. And then you're going to come up next to the wall. So you're actually on the side of it, of your hip, and then you're going to lay down on one side, lower yourself down with your arms, and then you can bring the legs up. Once the legs are up, you can start to shimmy and move your hips closer to the wall. And just take a minute or two to get comfortable here. You might find that the hamstrings are super tight, so you're going to want to stay a little bit farther away from the wall. Or maybe you feel good with the hips and the sit bones touching the wall. So it just depends on how you are in your body, but all we're looking for here is to get the legs up in any way, shape, or form. Once you're there, you can place one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. You can also just leave both of your hands down beside you, palms facing up towards the sky. Whatever position brings you to a deeper state of relaxation and surrendering. Now that you're all settled in, I invite you to find some stillness here in the body. And the only thing that is still moving is the breath. Put all of your attention on the inhale and the exhale. To encourage yourself to slow down the breath even more, see if you can add 1 more second to each exhale. By doing that, that signals to your body, that signals to your nervous system to relax, that you're in a safe place. And you begin to shift more into your parasympathetic nervous system. We're here for about 1 more minute. So put all of your attention on the breath. Welcome yourself into this practice, into this space. Letting all of your thoughts fade away. so you can get the most out of this restorative practice. Start to bend the knees. Roll onto one side. And press yourself back up to a seat. You can keep the blanket where it's at, or you can move it out of the way. You're going to find yourself back to your mat. And we're going to come into a supported child's pose. So I'd like you to take your bolster and also a couple of blocks. So you can set your blocks up on your mat to whatever height feels good for you. You might need to adjust once you get things set up. And then take the bolster, place it right on top. As you come in and hug the bolster, you can bring your arms down towards the ground. Let your elbows rest down. And then if you'd like, you can also rest your head down. So again, I encourage you to take the time to set up the pose, adjust the blocks, adjust the bolster to accommodate your proportions and how your body is feeling today. So just because I have it set up this way doesn't mean it has to be exactly the same way you set it up. Maybe you want no bolster, no blocks. Maybe you want extra pillows. Up to you. It's important to take the time to set up the pose so you can find your sensations of ultimate relaxation. And lift the chest. Walk your hands back. Lift the bolster up. Remove the blocks out of the way. And then again, you're going to place your bolster down on the mat. This time you're going to do it perpendicular to the mat. Keep one pillow at the top of your mat and grab the other one. You're going to place it between the knees. We're making our way into a blissful banana pose, or a supported side lying pose. So you can place the second pillow between the knees. And then you want the hip all the way up to the bolster. And then begin to lower down over your bolster. And you can grab that second pillow and place it underneath your head. So you can get extra comfortable. Now with this, try to get your hip to be stacked on top of each other. So you're not laying on your belly, you're not laying on your back. You're really treating it like a side bend. You could either keep your top hand just resting on the bolster or your hip, or if you'd like to increase the sensation in the stretch, you can also bring your arm up over your head and rest it above the pillow. With every exhale, just give yourself permission to melt a little bit more into the ground, onto the bolster, into the pillows, whatever setup you have. See if you can remove any muscular tension that you're holding on to, or you're resisting the full melt. See if you can let go, relax, and soften just a little bit more. Gently press yourself up. Nice and slow. That can be a lot on the spine in that side bend, so take your time. And we're just going to move to the other side. So you can keep the pillow where it's at between the knees. Just rotate on the hips, and we'll switch to the other side. Again, take your time to get comfortable. Take any variation or modifications that feel best for you. And then allow the breath to be your guide to help pull you deeper and deeper into a state of full relaxation. Slowly begin to push yourself back up. And you're going to remove the pillow from the knees. And you're going to take your blocks again and place them on the middle of your mat. We're going to make our way into a supported fish pose. So have both blocks there, place the bolster on top. And for this, you're going to bring your hips right up to the bolster, and then you're going to slowly start to come down on top. For me, this bottom block is a little bit too high, so I'm going to lower this one down. And then lay all the way down onto the bolster. Your arms come out to your sides. So you're looking for a bit of a back bend, but nothing too deep and certainly nothing painful. And you want to make sure that your neck, your cervical spine is somewhat neutral and straight. Your chin is not too high or too low. Your neck should be mostly neutral here. And we're here for about a minute. So with every inhale, you can feel your chest lifting, your collarbone getting a little bit more wide, the breath getting deeper, and perhaps the heart opening. And with every exhale, you can relax the arms down, relax the muscles around the stomach, relax the muscles in the face. Allow your body to melt into the position of ultimate surrender. So your inhale, you're opening. And as you exhale, you're releasing. Opening, releasing. Roll onto one side. Maybe bend the knees and press yourself back up to a seat. And we'll make our way into a supine spinal twist. So lift the bolster up, move the blocks off to the side, and then make your way onto your back. And you'll bring this bolster between the knees. And then you can bring both of your knees off to the left side. And then extend your right arm away from you. And the gaze is either up towards the ceiling or over towards your right hand. And the left hand you can rest on your rib cage or your right outer thigh. And again, completely relax into the pose. Bring more awareness to areas in your body where you're feeling tension. And then tell those muscles or that area of tension to relax, to let go, to soften. And switch to the other side. So extend the right leg, grab onto the bolster, and pick it up as you move to the other side. Maybe shimmy the hips over to the left. And then again, the bolster is between the legs. As you come into that twist, when you feel ready, you can extend your left arm out to your side. And waste no time. Again, finding this full relaxation. Release the pose. Start to straighten your left leg. Lift the bolster up and off to the side. Roll onto your right side and press yourself up to a seat once again. And we're going to set up for our last pose of today's class, which is called stone hedge. So you're going to grab your two blocks, place them at the bottom side of your mat on the highest height, about hip distance apart, maybe a little wider, and then place your bolster perpendicular on your mat across both blocks. You're going to grab your blanket as well. And then as you lay down onto your back, you're going to bring your legs up, your calves, onto the bolster. And then before you lay down, you can bring the blanket up and over. If you want to tuck in your feet, you can. And then lower all the way down onto your back. So your legs are elevated up on the bolster. You're reducing the curve in your low back. You can tuck your arms under the blanket or leave them out. And knowing that this is the last pose of the class, I really encourage you to Soften and surrender as much as you can. Put your attention on the breath and repeat in your head, be here now, let it go. Be here now, let it go. Thank you so much for joining me for this class today, for taking the time to relax and restore your body. I encourage you to stay here in this position as long as you'd like, or you're welcome to also come into full Shavasana, or you can end the video here with me. I'll see you in the next class again tomorrow. Lots of love and endless gratitude from my heart to yours. Namaste.